Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga on 3DS has lovingly updated the original GBA game for modern audiences, in ways both big and small. Of course, the graphics and sound have all been improved, but as a huge fan of the original game, there are quite a few smaller gameplay tweaks that I've noticed that you might not have. So I decided to put together a list of the top 10 most important ones that I've noticed so far, in no particular order. Now this list is going to be pretty rapid fire, so make sure to check out our full preview for a much more in-depth look at the game and our impressions thus far. You can find a link to it in the description below. And with that, let's get right to them. Okay, let's be real for a second. How many times have you put down an RPG for a few weeks only to come back and have no idea what you were supposed to do? Well, to try and prevent that from happening, Superstar Saga on 3DS includes a handy new feature called the Stories So Far, that displays a brief snippet of the last major task you accomplished, and gives you a hint as to what you should be doing next. It should be a useful feature for you more forgetful gamers. The Bean Kingdom could be a confusing place to get around in the original GBA version of the game. But this time, it's a lot harder to get lost thanks to a brand new map feature that can display at all times on the 3DS's touchscreen. It features 3 levels of zoom and allows you to easily see how every screen connects to the other in the local region. And on top of that, you can even mark points of interest to the pin, and a yellow arrow will often appear to point you toward your next destination. It's super useful. Okay, look, the Mario & Luigi series can be a bit, what's the word? It's on the tip of my tongue. You know, when it takes more words to get a point across than this should take. Oh, right, verbose. Yeah, the Mario & Luigi games have a lot of dialogue to get through, often told in lengthy cutscenes. But this time, in the 3DS remake, you now have the option to fast forward through any cutscene, simply by holding the right shoulder button. Nice! You'll pick up a lot of special moves as you venture through Superstar Saga, and it could be a bit awkward and annoying to cycle through them in the original game. But this time, choosing one couldn't be easier, since every special move you learned is displayed right on the touchscreen. So all it takes is a quick tap to pick the one you want, although you can still cycle through them the normal way too if you really want to. And because of this change, you no longer have to worry about manually switching Mario & Luigi's positions, as in who takes the lead and who's in the back, because the game now takes care of it for you depending on the move you select. Which also means that the jump buttons for Mario & Luigi now stay the same throughout the entire game, instead of switching constantly with their positions in the original GBA version. Thank God. Now in the original game, selecting a special move would temporarily replace your standard jump, meaning you had to switch moves constantly just to get around the world. You know, because Mario & Luigi tend to jump a lot. It was pretty annoying, but it was understandable given the GBA's limited amount of buttons. But thankfully, since the 3DS has plenty of buttons, the game now provides a permanent jump one for the brothers by tapping X, which makes getting around easier and less tedious than ever before. So, like in the original game, each battle begins with a star filling the screen. But this time, the star will look slightly different depending on if you manage to pull off a first strike on the enemy, such as by displaying a shoe if you happen to jump on them first. It's just a small tweak that gives you a heads up as to whether you actually landed the attack or not. And speaking of battles, if you had a tough time dodging attacks in the original game by jumping, you were kinda screwed. But this time you have a brand new backup option. And that is, you can hold the X button to guard instead. Yeah, you'll still take some damage, but it's better than nothing. The brother attacks in the original Superstar Saga could be tough to pull off. They required nearly perfect timing of multiple button presses in a row in order to inflict maximum damage. But this time, they've been overhauled to be much more accessible in general. For one, the game does a much better job of giving you a heads up as to when exactly to time your button press, including the fact that straight up shows you what buttons to press before you even use the attack. And beyond that, the game now allows you to view a demo or practice the move yourself as many times as you want before you actually use it. Yep, during battle. It's pretty darn generous. But in case you're still having trouble, there's also an easier version of each brother attack that makes timing them even more painless. It just comes at the expense of a few more brother points. Oh, and by the way, do you remember how there used to be 3 different modes for each brother attack in the original game, making them stronger but harder to pull off? Well, those seem to be completely gone now. And speaking of easy versions, if you find Superstar Saga a little bit too tough in general, you may want to try toggling on the brand new easy mode at any time via the options screen. It'll make Mario and Luigi stronger and the enemies weaker. In the original Superstar Saga, you can only save at specific save blocks scattered throughout the world. And while they're still there in the 3DS version, you can now save at any time you want via the in-game menu. Nice! And there you have it, 10 of the most important gameplay changes that I've noticed in the Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga remake on 3DS. But if you want to know even more about the game, make sure to check out our full preview linked in the description below. And of course, make sure to stay tuned for our full review coming October 4th. Thanks for watching, and make sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already for lots more Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions, and everything else Nintendo as well.